Hello everyone, and tomorrow when you see this it will be the last day of term, and well done to everyone. We've got to the end of what has been quite a challenging term, quite a lot of it studying at home, and at the end being able to be back at school. And I hope you've enjoyed this week in particular as much as I have. Clearly everyone in the pre-prep has had a little bit longer, but this week has been so special in the sunshine. And tomorrow, well, it's Red Nose Day, and I hope that will be a great way to finish before the Easter holidays. Well, my theme today is not red noses, albeit I'm going to go and look out my red trousers now, which might be the only thing I should be wearing tomorrow. But my theme is a date in history 89 years ago, because Friday the 19th of March, 89 years ago in 1932, was the date on which the Sydney Harbour Bridge was opened. Now, if you're in P3 at the moment, Sydney Harbour Bridge is something that's very important to you because I know you're studying it. But actually, as I've been researching this talk today, I've discovered it's a very, very interesting construction. I've learnt that it is the tallest, the highest steel arch bridge in the world. It's almost 50 metres from the top of it, no, actually nearly 150 metres from the top of the arch all the way down to the water. It took 6 million rivets to build, although most of the steel work was actually created in the north of England and shipped out to Australia because the designers of the bridge were a British company. There was a competition for the design of the bridge, which was launched in the early 1920s. And this particular design, which was based upon a design of a bridge in New York and even the Tyne Bridge back in England, it was designed on that, and pulled together the north and south harbour of Sydney in Australia. And as a result now, this bridge is a design icon. It is known throughout the world, and it's probably an icon that typifies Australia, perhaps a little bit like our own Forth Rail Bridge back in Scotland. So it took almost 8 years to build. It cost something like, at the time, 6.25 million Australian pounds. I've no idea what that really equates to. All I can tell you is that though it was finished in 1932, it took until nearly 1990 to pay off the sum of money that it cost to build the bridge. It is known today in Sydney as the coat hanger. It looks a bit like a coat hanger, but was known at the time as the Iron Lung. The reason is that it breathed life into the economy of Australia and of Sydney, because in the 1930s, Australia, like the rest of the world, was going through a recession, was in very poor times. Things were tough building bridges back in the 1920s and 30s. There weren't all the safety practices that you have to this day. In fact, 16 men died building the bridge, including 2 who fell off the bridge. So it was pretty tough. They wouldn't allow that nowadays. But it was a remarkable achievement. And on the 19th of March 1932, the Premier of New South Wales was ready to open the bridge. Nearly 1 million people, that's almost the whole population of Sydney, attended the opening. It was a big deal. There was a letter that was sent from a rural New South Wales primary school. The children walked to the next town, handed the letter to the next school, who walked to the next town, and this letter was handed on foot all the way through to Sydney to congratulate the builders for completing such a magnificent bridge. And it was a remarkable thing. So as the Premier was ready with his scissors to cut the ribbon to open the bridge, would you believe it, but a man in uniform on a horseback rode onto the bridge and used his sword and sliced open the ribbon as a protest at the fact that a member of the British royal family had not been invited to come and open the bridge. That must have been incredibly surprising. Well, the bridge still stands, and I think a traffic survey recently suggested that well over 200 trains, nearly 160,000 vehicles, and of those about 2,000 bicycles pass across the bridge every day. As you stand on the bridge, well, you can climb over it. You can actually walk over and climb over the bridge. That's one of the great tourist attractions in Sydney. And if you're there, you look down on the magnificent Sydney Opera House, and the bridge and the Opera House are probably two of the most distinctive sights in Australia. So happy birthday today to the Sydney Harbour Bridge. To everyone else, happy Easter, and I hope you get a good break over the Easter holiday. We're going to see some of you back for the sports camp just before Easter. We look forward to seeing you back fresh, well, and ready to study on the 13th of April. For now, thank you, Matthew, for our prayer this morning, which is a prayer for Easter.
Dear Lord, as we come up to the end of term, we give thanks for all that we have learned. This term, we have had to learn to be patient, to work at home and away from school, and to manage limited contact with our friends. Nonetheless, we give thanks for being together again, for the hard work of doctors, nurses, scientists, and so many other people to help our families be more safe, and for the lovely weather we have enjoyed this week. As we go towards Easter, we remember your Son, Jesus Christ, who laid down his life for us. Amen. Say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever.